you got to vet the men that you're interested in, and you got to vet them hard. You got to ask them tough questions right off the rip. None of that. What's your zodiac sign? What's your favorite color? Bullshit. Like, you need to be asking real hard questions. Are you aligned with me? Do you want to get married? When do you want to get married? Do you got a plan for me? Like, you should be asking hard questions, because those are the questions that your dad would be asking. And if somebody tells you, oh, I don't want to answer those questions, it's too early, he wouldn't be saying that to your dad. And so at that point, if people are shucking and jiving and they don't want to answer hard questions, then they ain't about shit. Keep it moving. That's how you really get
Mhm.
past the bull that most men do on the first, second, and third date when they're really not that interested in. Today we have a special guest. If you could introduce yourself, share, give us a little bit about your bio, your name, your Instagram, and then tell us a little bit about yourself.
Awesome. My name is Cher Woods. I'm originally from Torrance. I just moved to Paris. My Instagram is Cher Woods, SCHERWOODSS. Um, I also have an OnlyFans. That's Cher Bear, SCHERBEAR. I've been modeling for a little over 13 years now. I'm also a special effects makeup artist. I do like all those like prosthetics and stuff for scary movies. And then I also own a princess party company where I dress up as like party characters. And then I also do face painting, balloon twisting, airbrush tattoos, arts and crafts, and just character entertainment on weekends. And yeah,
Awesome, awesome. Well, welcome to Black Cinder, Cher.
awesome.
So,
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
absolutely. So we wanted to have a segment where we kind of let our guests ask us some questions, and the panel will kind of give you a response to some dating questions. So I know you had three lined up. If you when you're ready, go ahead and fire away, and each one of us will take turns kind of answering your questions for you.
Of course. So for the first one, I guess it's what do you guys think about girls that sleep with you on the very first date?
Miles Johnson, go ahead and field that one first. We're coming to you.
One of the qualities that's most attractive to me in a woman is her taste in men. So if she sleeps with me on the first night, that cements that she has wonderful taste in men. So I find that to be very attractive. Uh, that's about all I got. I'm all about it. I'm in favor of it.
All right. All right. Jamie, go ahead and take a crack at it. What do you think about women who sleep with men on the first date?
One thing I want to make sure we're not just generalizing because it's kind of piggybacks off what Miles says. You really got to be feeling it. It really has to be something. You know, I have done that before, and me and this person ended up getting engaged to be married. So, with that being said, I don't think people mind if the flow is right and it makes sense. I'm not saying every dude, but when it makes sense, I don't shame people. I don't think it's a terrible thing. And sometimes it can work out for the best. It's, to each their own. It's the situations are different.
Yeah.
But I'm not mad at it.
All right. Kev, what do you think about women who sleep with guys on the first date?
Yeah, I'm far from anybody that can judge anyone for whatever reason. So if somebody's partaking in sleeping with a man on the first date, young ladies sleeping with a man on the first date, that more power to her. They could, like in Jamie's case, turn into an engagement. It could be a one night stand, right? But I think either way, there's not a whole lot of judgment to be had. I think people should have fun, right? You want to be safe and have fun, and as long as you understand the consequences, something we talked about in past podcasts, you can go on ahead and do your thing, but there's no judgment from me on that. I think people should enjoy their lives and do what they want to do, but it's all about fun to me, and if somebody wants to have that kind of fun on the first date, more power to them.
All right. So here's my thing. If you just want to have sex, hey, it's self-explanatory. Go ahead and sleep with the person on the first date. If you're looking for a long-term relationship, I think women should only sleep with men. I'm sorry. I think women should only consider men that they want to sleep with on the first date. I call it the first date rule. If you are not super interested in a guy to where you admire him and desire him physically, you admire who he is as a man, you desire him physically, and you want to sleep with him on the first night, then that's a guy that you should really be interested in long term. If you don't feel that way, you shouldn't be interested in men long term if they don't make you feel that way on the first night. And when I say the first night, I mean, there's talking on the phone. Maybe you guys meet up for coffee, do a little bit more talking, and then you go on the first date, right? I'm not saying you meet him today, tomorrow you want to sleep with him. You gotta dive deeper into it. You have to really understand, are you guys aligned with each other? Do you guys think the same way? Do you want the same things? And if you feel like, you know what, I am safe with this man, I am impressed by this man, and I physically desire this man, those are the only men you should think long term about, because you want to sleep with that man right in the beginning. So I'm all for it. What'd you think about that advice, Cher?
That's interesting. It's good to know that people are so open about it, because like I guess the stigma is you kind of hear like, oh, like you should wait like, at least 3 dates, or like wait like, like 3 weeks in. And it's just interesting to hear that it's like, oh no, it's fine. Because it's like, me personally, like I kind of have to have like that connection with someone, but obviously no judgment. If someone like has that connection right away, then I say go for it.
So do you not feel like it's possible for you to have a first date connection that leads to intimacy, or is that just off the table?
No, for me, it takes a little while. I have to get to know them. Even like meeting up with them, like I have to get to know them and like go on several dates to be like, okay, I trust this guy, because my ass gets attached. So like I need to make sure they're really into me, and I'm not just like, hello, then I'm like, oh, I love you. No, not really, but like I don't want it to be like that and be like, okay,
But
bye.
kind of.
Like, I need to make
Here's
sure
where
you
you-
actually really like me before I give myself away, because I know I'm a lover and I get attached. So I can't do it.
Here's
unless
where you want to be
really,
cautious,
prove
though.
yourself that you're into me just as much as I'm into you, and then okay.
You want to be careful here, Cher, because what men are really good at is, excuse my language, auditioning for pussy. So you won't necessarily be able to tell whether he's really into you. Like, we can keep that shit up for 3-4 dates if we really have just made our minds up that we want to take this down. Whether you do it the first night or the 5th night, you're kind of seeing the best of us because we're auditioning, we're tap dancing, and trying to like crack the combination and do the right combination of shit that's gonna crack that lock. So I'm not saying you're wrong, but don't feel like, oh, because I've been on 4 dates with him, he must really be sincere with all this shit he's doing. Just putting that out there.
Well, here's
Facts.
what I would say, Cher. You got to vet the men that you're interested in, and you got to vet them hard. You got to ask them tough questions right off the rip. None of that, what's your zodiac sign? What's your favorite color bullshit? Like, you need to be asking real hard questions. Are you aligned with me? Do you want to get married? When do you want to get married? Do you got a plan for me? Like, you should be asking hard questions, because those are the questions that your dad would be asking. And if somebody tells you, oh, I don't want to answer those questions, it's too early, he wouldn't be saying that to your dad. And so at that point, if people are shucking and jiving and they don't want to answer hard questions, then they ain't about shit. Keep it moving. That's how you really get past the bullshit that most men do on the first, second, and third date when they're really not that interested in you.
And you know what, too, just to add to that, I think it's everything you guys are saying, but it's all about the way we feel. We're extremely intuitive. And I always say this, even on other shows, like, without deducing and adding, and his performance and the timing of the phone call, and that we be knowing. And so when we can lean into what we be knowing, because when I met my ex-fiance, I saw him, I was like, he is so fine. I want him. So I put myself in his eye line. I was like, oh, I'm from here too. And he took it from there. That first night, we talked for 5 hours. He made sure to set a date. He brought me flowers. We ate. There was no reason for me to say no. That's the way I was feeling. I wasn't thinking so much about even, all of these questions and whatnot. And it's the longest relationship I ever had. So you kind of just also got to lean into how you're feeling. But I feel like what trips us up is some of these things, like, I don't want to get attached, and is it this and is it that? When you can clear all that out of the way and be present, You'll know.